The start of a brand new school year is just around the corner, and I don't know about you, but my little one is going for the very first time to primary school. So I've spoken to every primary school teacher I know and parents of school-aged children to get their top tips and tricks to help you prepare your little one and yourself for them starting primary school. Hi guys, and welcome back to So Sally O. If you're new around here, then welcome. Hi, I'm Sally. I've got two children, Hugo and Felicity. They are 2 and 4, and Felicity is just about to start primary school, hence the topic of today's video, because I've been doing loads of research over the last couple of months. I create new videos every single week about kids, cakes and crafts, and I would absolutely love it if you click subscribe below and join this community. I love chatting in the comments section to new subscribers and discovering new channels myself. So let's get into the video. So number 1 is to get a book about starting school and read it together with your child. We've got the Topsy and Tim Start School book, but there's loads of different kinds, and they spell it out in a really easy to understand, childlike way so that they're not scared or apprehensive about starting school themselves. Number 2, and this is an obvious one that everybody goes on about, but it's using the toilet independently. So hopefully by now your little one is going to the toilet by themselves, but primary school teachers really do reinforce that the children starting reception should be able to recognise when to go, ask the teacher when they need to go, use the toilet independently, wipe properly, the proper way, and wash their hands thoroughly and redress themselves as necessary. Number 3, depending on where your primary school is, and ours is luckily just around the corner, but I know people who need to drive or they're in a slightly different village or town, I suggest doing a dummy run. So if you've got other children as well, the routine might need to change in terms of what time they get up in the morning, what time they have their breakfast and their naps, if you've got a little one who's still napping in the afternoon. But we've done a dummy run where I've put Hugo in the buggy. Felicity can go on the buggy board if she likes, or she's a bit tired that day. And I've timed it and it's 6 minutes. So I've done a dummy run. It's quicker going there because it's downhill than it is coming back. But getting there is the journey that matters. And also think about parking. So if you've got everyone and it's a rainy day and everybody's driven, is there another road or a cut through or somewhere else that you can park to make it a little bit easier? Using a knife and fork. I don't know about you, but I sometimes don't give Felicity the chance to be quite so independent that she could be. So I still chop up her food for her, but apparently they'll be using knife and fork, they'll be having hot meals. There's a lot more choice and independence, so they need to be cutting it up themselves. So over the summer we're going to start practicing that, but also in terms of the importance of eating fruit and vegetables, not just eating the burgers and chips or potato or cheese or whatever it might be. I know mine both love the carbs. But yeah, just understanding that they need to try new foods, eat healthy foods, and chop them up and eat properly with a knife and fork. If necessary, during September, there are various settling in schedules, and ours is a variety of half days, full days, short days, 9 till 1, 1 till 3, half the class one time. But basically from the 4th of September to the 25th of September, I don't think she's actually doing one entire complete day. It's okay for us because I work from home, so I can kind of work around it. But if there are other parents like you and you work full time or something, you could take some annual leave and figure out a way to share the burden of the childcare during that settling in period. Check all of their uniform, so you can get a list from the school, make sure you've got enough. If necessary, you might want to buy a few bits of the official school wear, but also get some cheaper bits from Marks and Spencer's, who often have offers on. But even from Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, places like that, they all sell unbranded school uniform. It's really reasonably priced. So probably get more than you think you're going to need, because you might not want to be doing loads of washing in the week. If you've got the opportunity to go into school and meet the teacher and view the classroom, then take them up on that. We have stay and play sessions and story time sessions. Felicity's actually got 2 teachers, but we've only met 1 so far. I definitely suggest you do it because it means on the first day your child will be a bit more familiar with their surroundings and the people that they're going to be spending their time with. During August, why not try and create some special memories? Sounds a bit cheesy, but just try and have some time with your child one-on-one and just enjoy those final few weeks of them being a baby and being at home with you and yeah, just doing something special, just the two of you, that you wouldn't normally do. Make sure your child can recognise their own name. Apparently in primary schools in the first few weeks, so the teachers can learn the children's names, they all have to wear name tags and they'll be expected to go and collect those off a table themselves. Not necessarily put them on themselves, but recognise their name, whether that's on their name badge or on a chart on the wall or something like that. Make sure you've got lots of snacks in the house for after school, because apparently they come back at 3:30 or whatever it is, absolutely shattered but also starving because they've been running around and have done so much. So have a selection of healthy snacks ready to go. Practice with the child's numbers. By now they might be able to recognise all of their numbers or write them or count. Everybody's different, but you can have a day out or a morning where you go on a number trail, so you can look at signs, house numbers, or if you're doing letters, road names, and see if they can try and read a little bit, but just recognising numbers when they're out and about. School shoes, something I think a lot of parents seem to dread. I actually went the other day to get Felicity's school shoes because I thought, although it's a bit early, I really didn't want to get stressed at the end of August. So I've got them a bit early and I've actually got them in a half a size bigger than she measured in the shop, but we've probably got like 6-7 weeks left. But if possible, go and get the shoes early on so that you're not there at the end of August with everybody else stressing and queuing in the shoe shop. Depending on your school, you might have a health questionnaire to do, or lots of forms and other questionnaires and bits and pieces of paper to fill out. Try and be organised and keep everything in one place, and I always think just do the form as soon as you've got it, and that way you're not going to forget about it. We've had loads of paperwork from school, so I've tried to have one central place in the kitchen where we keep everything, and then I can go to it, my husband knows where it is, and I'm not going to be rushing when I'm trying to find it later on. Try and organise some play dates with new friends that are going to be in their class. Sometimes they might know quite a few children if they're going from the same nursery, or absolutely no one. But there might be a Facebook group for parents, so try and find out about that, or a WhatsApp group, or try and get the details from school if you can, or from local people, and try and arrange a play date with the new people in their class. That way, although they're not going to be best friends and know them really, really well, it does mean that they're a friendly, familiar face on their first day. Help your child to practice writing their own name and other words if you want to. I think the only thing that's expected of them at this stage is writing their own name, but it doesn't hurt to practice other things and just practice letters and writing in general. So the next one a lot of primary school teachers told me about is manners and sharing and turn taking and general styles of play. So whether they've got siblings or not, they're probably used to getting their own way a lot of the time, which I think is completely normal for children of that age. But obviously they'll be going into an environment with 30 children and potentially just one teacher. So they're going to need to learn to share things, to take turns, to compromise, but also to use their initiative and come up with a lot of solutions themselves, because I don't think the teacher's going to have time to intervene constantly. They'll have to figure out a way themselves of just working together as a team and sharing the resources that are around them. Mentally prepare your little one for starting primary school. You don't need to go overboard, and actually sometimes if you talk about it too much, they might start to think, well, what's happening here? Should I be anxious about this? But just maybe walking past the school and mentioning that, you know, they're at a certain age and they can still be friends from nursery or whatever, but just it's time to move on. And yeah, just show them sort of the school gates and explain where they'll be going, potentially the timings of the day, what time you'll be leaving the house. Another thing that might help is hanging out with children who already go to school, and they don't need to be old, it could just be reception or year one children, if you've got friends that have kids those ages, or cousins that are slightly older, and that way they might be able to talk to them and relate to them a bit better than we might be able to when explaining what school is like and how amazing and how fun it is, so that they're really excited and thinking of it in a positive way. Once you've got the uniform and the shoes, a lot of people have said to me, do a mini photo shoot thing the week before school. So I know what I'm like. I'm going to want to take thousands of photos, but it might be raining, it might be windy. We're all going to be rushing and stressed probably. And we've got Hugo with us. So I don't want to be outside the school gates with hundreds of other children, everyone trying to take photos. Everyone's going to be in each other's way. So get them dressed up. They'll probably like wearing their uniform anyway. Felicity hasn't really taken hers off yet. But put them in the uniform at the end of August, get them all dressed up, do the hair nicely, and take a few nice shots. That way, on the morning of their first day at primary school, it's not going to be too stressful. Name labels. Something else a lot of people have said to me is label absolutely everything. Label socks, label tights, label the bag, a drink, book bag, literally anything. You can get some really cool labels off the internet that are quite cheap, that just iron on. Or if you're like me, you can easily just use your GHDs because it's the perfect size to just go ch, and they're on. But get the labels early doors, get everything named up because you don't want to be losing anything. If you found your school's parents' Facebook group or WhatsApp group, try and arrange a night out with the parents, because after all, it's not just about the kids, it's also about you meeting this entire group of people for the first time. It's a little bit like NCT, that's how I feel anyway, but kind of more important because you're not just going to be hanging out with them for the year of maternity leave, say. You know, especially if you've got other siblings in the school, you're going to be around these people for like 7, 9, 10 years. So try and arrange a night out or just hang out with them because you're going to be seeing quite a lot of the other parents. Something that I read about from Brummy Mummy of Two's blog is sort of holding hands with your child and then drawing some kind of symbol where you're holding hands. So they know they're touching. It's quite hard to explain, but I'll insert some footage here, and that way if they are a bit lonely or anxious when they are at school, they can sort of look down at what you've drawn on in pen, and kind of just a way to remember that you're there and that you're kind of remotely holding their hand and that you're thinking of them. When you get to school, there's going to be loads of dates, not only the dates of the term but also teacher training days and events and assemblies and trips and stuff like that. So try and get one big family calendar, somewhere communal like the kitchen, and write down absolutely everything so that everyone in the family knows what's happening and when. So if you've got 30 children in the class, you're potentially looking at birthday party most weekends, sometimes 2 on a weekend, and you're straight in there in September. There might be September birthdays with the parties that you're invited to immediately. So try and get in a load of 5th birthday cards to see you through the first few months, and some kind of generic presents that would be good for boys and girls so that you're not rushing around if you get an invite for sort of the next weekend. And finally, just be kind to yourself because you've done such an amazing job getting to this point, whether you've been a stay-at-home mum or work part-time or work full-time. You've had them at home and you've raised them to the point that they're going into full-time education. So give yourself a pat on the back, and if you want to have a sob and cry and look at baby pictures, then let yourself do that. And I think that in that first week that they're starting, give yourself a treat and have something nice to look forward to, whether that's just having some more free time or going for lunch with a friend or just watching a film by yourself. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely summer with your little one and that they're really excited about school and that these tips for starting primary school have helped. So again, thanks for watching. Please comment below if you've got any questions or if you've got any tips if your children are already at school, and like the video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.